live stream of EuRoc. I'm here with Xeno Meinberg. My name is Max Zappi. We're going to be your host today as we watch the PERIPHAS launch. This is the first guided recovery system to recover an entire rocket through an autonomously steered parachute system. And we're here out here in beautiful Portugal, near Ponte de Sor. We've been here for a few days now. It's been a lot of fun. We've seen lots of different teams do some interesting preparations. There's been some launches already. We're going to be one of the first people to to launch in our very sketchy mission control setup. Thank you very much, Xeno. It's following the direction now. Everything's a bit chaotic at the moment, but we're making steady progress. And the team, I was just informed, just passed their launch readiness review, so we should be seeing them head out to the launch pad in a few minutes and setting up. So, how's your experience been, Xeno?
Yeah, it's really nice. I'd say that yeah, this week has been wonderful. One can see that this European Rocketry Challenge is growing and growing. Mm-hmm. Many new teams as well are here, and I think PERIPHAS really was successful in terms of efficiency, passing all their reviews with flying colors, and also being ready almost yeah, in a moment, I'd say.
Absolutely. I think I've never seen a team assemble so calmly, quickly, but yeah, just efficiently. It's really nice to see how far checklists and ARIS have become, and how much being prepared and practicing your routine correctly can really benefit you when you get into an extremely chaotic and hectic situation as we do have here at a launch day. So yeah, in case anyone's wondering what Team PERIPHAS is, I think we can start off right away by introducing them, and we'll let them do that, I think, themselves.
Hi guys, my name is Dominic, team leader of Project PERIPHAS, and this year we are representing ARIS at EuRoc 2022. We have manufactured all carbon parts ourselves. Inside this nose cone sits our acoustic levitation payload. Just below it we have our drogue and steerable ram air parachute. The ram air parachute is controlled by the actuator section. It houses all the motors for deploying and steering the parachutes. Then we have our in-house developed separation system for the nose cone. Our electronics rack sits below it. It's the brain of the rocket, and it steers all motors above as well as below it. For example, the air brakes, which by extending these flaps are going to allow us to target a precise apogee. Last but not least, we have our motor and fin section, which is going to propel us to 3 kilometers. The completely custom electronics have been designed, assembled and tested right here by the team. It provides us with the accurate measurements we need for guided descent to work. The software that is running on a flight computer has been developed right here. It controls all phases of our mission, like arming, which is triggered through this ground station. The guidance, navigation and control team works in the algorithm that steers the rocket to the landing zone during descent. They do a lot of simulations right here, but we test their system like this.
All right, I think we got a good introduction of them. It was a pretty fun video. I love watching that video every single time I see it. It's really well edited. Shout out to Fabian Weber for all the work he put into editing that video. Yeah, so a guided recovery system. What does that mean?
Yeah, let's say in easy terms, okay? Yeah, let's say general rocketry, amateur rocketry, we try to recover our rockets first with a drogue chute and a main chute, but we are exposed to the environment. This means winds will, kind of guide the way where the rocket lands. And yeah, in terms of guided recovery, we want to control this. And by doing this, we kind of implement a brain into the rocket, and that's our guidance. And through feedback loops and inputs, and maybe also certain simulations at the beginning, we try to find the optimal trajectory.
Yeah, I think you summarized all of it. There's so many things that go into it. There's the electronics brain. There's tons of software. The entire programming environment. I mean, they spent an entire year just fine-tuning and optimizing it to make sure it really represents real-world physical situations that we have. And I think they really achieved it. I mean, we're going to see it today, but they performed a lot of drop tests and really learned a lot in the tuning parameter. By tuning the different parameters of their system, and I think I'm confident. I'm really excited to see the launch today.
And also very interesting. I mean, we started with this project with guided recovery like 2 years ago. Like almost exactly 2 years ago, we started with Phoenix, and this turned out really well. And then PERIPHAS, who took another step in the right direction. Yeah. And we will see in ARIS, this has for sure a huge potential, and also for future teams. Without spoiling it, we will for sure try to implement this in future rockets.
Absolutely. If everything goes well today, I want to see this in every single rocket we launch in the future. This is one of the most exciting and I think like innovative things that I've really seen come out of our association. So I'm really excited to be here, and I'm really excited to see it. Yeah. No.
Yeah, just in general, like to give you kind of a picture how it is today here in Santa Margarita, here at EuRoc. It's very nice, beautiful. Weather is perfect, 30 degrees in the sun, in the shade. It's a bit cooler, but still very hot.
It's really bright. I mean, I think you can tell that in the video. We're a bit overexposed, and this is about the darkest setting that our camera has. So it's really warm out here.
Yeah, I think we try to promote this project as much as possible by giving you a great live stream. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We tried our best, but I think in the end we can be very proud of what we will see here today.
Absolutely, definitely.
Yeah, maybe can you tell us more about like not just PERIPHAS, but maybe the rocket we launched today?
So the rocket we're launching today is it's actually an interesting story how it came to be. So PERIPHAS itself started out as a focus project that was just meant to develop a guided recovery system. So just a fairing, a tube that has a parachute that can be torn out of it, and their plan was to throw it out of a helicopter a bunch of times and really optimize its parameters, optimize the control algorithm. And they did that, and at the end of or somewhere in the middle of their testing campaign, they kind of realized that they want to do more than just that. And I'm being informed. I think the rocket is getting ready to be transported forward. So I think we're going to watch that for a second. Let me switch camera inputs right here. One moment. Please stand by. We're having some technical difficulties changing the camera settings. Terug maar dat dim. überhaupt? Oh.
Ja, så. Ska jag nochmal i und ausschalten?
I guess, yes.
Något som är drauf?
Ah, there we go. Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thanks for your patience. It's the magic of live television. Nothing ever goes the way you want it to. To the left, right over here, we see the team. They're hidden just behind the tent. And I think they're getting their last clearance before they're allowed to go down the launch pad. And there they go. They are off.
So assembly is done. We are going to the launch rail.
Exactly. We're now in the pre-launch phase. So from this point, it should be within the next hour, I think, that we should see them launch. It's a very exciting moment.
Yeah.
This is an entire year's of work culminating in the next hour.
Let's have a closer look.
Yeah, we're zooming into them right there. It's about a 600-meter walk all the way down to the launch pad. So normally, if you're just strolling yourself, it'll be relatively fast. But obviously, when you're carrying a relatively large rocket with lots of technology inside of it, it's gonna take a while, and you want to be really careful so that you don't drop anything or go too fast.
Yeah. So this morning there was a launch window for a team. Unfortunately, they didn't make it. So up next, within the next hour, we have I think 4 launches planned.
That's correct. Yeah.
With one being ASAT, the team out of Thessaloniki, us.
I think we're the first or second in line there. Yeah, exactly.
Then what do we have more? We have Bath, University of Bath.
Ah, yeah, exactly. Bath. I forget what's fourth.
And Graz, University of Graz.
Oh, not to forget. Yes, I'm very excited to see them launch as well. It should be. Ooh, I think our camera just cut out.
So we'll bring it back to.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we're really excited to see 4 launches in a window. So far at EuRoc, very successful flights. Yesterday we had a very successful flight. Shout out to the ERT.
Oh yeah, those guys, their
rocket
rocket
team.
is so cool, man.
Such a great flight yesterday. All went nominal as we spoke with them. They're even here today to
They're here
watch
for a
our
little
flight.
support. Yeah.
And apparently they reached an apogee of 9,500 meters.
Really?
And,
Oh, I thought it was even more.
Speed of Mach 1.6.
That's pretty cool. If you see the rocket, it has a tiny diameter, and it's not very long. It really looks like a toy rocket, and that thing, it's so powerful. It's really impressive what those guys that did. They're great engineers, really.
Yeah, I mean, comparing it to last year, where we are here with Picard and Daedalus, I'd say so far all rockets were quite successful.
That's true. Yeah, we haven't seen any like super bad recovery attempts or anything. Nothing has gone really wrong. So I think people are really learning from their mistakes, and they're continuing to improve their system year over year. I think you notice that in general when you're rocking around. I mean, we can take a look at briefly some of the other things. They're really cool. It was a lot of fun just walking around the exposition center yesterday. You see all sorts of teams assembling. They're really happy to tell you about their rocket. Here we see the TOV. They're really cool.
Yeah.
They have a full liquid rocket. Of course, EPFL. This is the rocket we were just talking about. That was really fun to see. They have a very interesting payload as well. They're analyzing ways to prevent slushing from happening in powered rocket flight.
Yeah, this is Imperial College. Really cool project. A lot of cabling here around the tank, but I mean, we will see how it works. In the end, we all want that all rockets take off.
Of
and,
course, yeah.
Recover safely. And there are super many new ideas which we think could also potentially be in our rocket someday.
I really hope so, yeah. I mean, you notice these kind of exhibitions or these competitions are not just a place to show off what you've done, but also to like exchange ideas, and that's I think one of the most fun part. I love coming here just to get inspired.
Yeah, and we see it more and more growing. in time. Yeah, we'll see how the future is. I mean, we were this year at the SA Cup with another rocket, Helvetia, in Austria.
That was fun as well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I'm a bit more excited to be here almost. I mean, I love coming back, and it hasn't even started, and I'm already excited to come back next year again.
Yeah. And now it seems that they changed to yellow flag status.
Indeed.
What does that mean, Max?
So yellow flag, that means that things are they're starting to get serious. That means everyone who isn't supposed to be on the launch pad is supposed to retreat and come back. You can see if we can look at our launch pad again. Our camera connections are really finicky today. There we go. They're just raising yellow flag. So the only people in downrange are people that are necessary for arming the system. So that means electronics experts, pyro experts, and a launch officer is also allowed down there. And everyone else is supposed to retreat. So for us, essentially, this means we're getting really close to the arming phase. And hopefully we'll be able to see a launch, relatively soon. I mean, the launch window doesn't open for another 40 minutes, but this is it. If you zoom really far in, you might be able to see our team. They're still walking down there. It's a really long path, but they're making headway. So yeah, while we're waiting, I think we can listen to a bit more of what the team had to say. We talked to them a bit at the competition hall when they were assembling, and when they were in a bit more of a relaxed mood, I think, than they are today. We'll start off with our project manager, Dominic, just so he can tell us a bit about his project as well.
Hi, I'm Dominic. I'm the project manager of PERIPHAS, and we are the second team in ARIS to tackle the development of a guided recovery system. What is a guided recovery system? So we want to use a parachute, which you can see right here on top. It's a normal parachute that you could see in a skydiver, and we use that, and we steer with these motors that run on a in-house developed software and electronics to autonomously guide the rocket down during descent so that we can land our rocket in a specific and precise area. Originally, our task was to just design a guided recovery system, as I explained before, but after some time we thought, we want a new challenge as the second project doing this in ARIS, and we want to integrate our system into a rocket, which you can see we have kind of successfully done right now. We have launched our system during a maiden launch and are now obviously here at EuRoc representing ARIS. We were originally just 10 people doing the guided recovery system, and then over time it expanded, so we got a few more alumni in ARIS to work with us and basically take all of the knowledge from past ARIS rockets and integrate our system into that rocket. Working on a project like this is very special. Obviously, we started back in September of 2021, and we're now over a year later here at EuRoc. And it's just incredible. You work with people that are like-minded. They are into the same kind of things as you are. We are all interested in things related to space, and we are very excited to be developing systems like these. We have an incredible team, and it has grown over the last couple of months. And I must say it has been a real pleasure working with these people in ARIS, also the other people that provide a framework within ARIS for us to achieve our goals and go here to EuRoc. So it is really incredible.
So yeah, I think what Dominic said about teamwork is really important. I think generally at ARIS, it's important to us that we really have teams that work well together and that harmonize well together. And I'm glad that that's really the experience that he had over the past year. I hope. How was your experience in ARIS? Were you also well integrated?
Really special experience. I think we really take pride in our teamwork. I'd say. Although we focus really on technical things, in the end, really successful projects are based off great teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
I experienced it last year, especially during my project, and hopefully you as well in yours.
Absolutely, it was the teamwork is I think the core of everything. If you're given a bad hand, if you're given a bad team at the end of the day, you can be as motivated as possible as you want to be, but if not everyone's opinions align, it's just not it's not going to work. I mean, you're responsible for the recruiting at ARIS as well. Do you want to give maybe a few prospective ARIS applicants a tip on how they can be a really good team player?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'd say really what helps is early experience in working with teams. May it be extracurriculars, may it be something in sports, or something competitive which requires you to work in a team. And I think this is kind of a thing which you can learn as well. Maybe at the beginning you might not be a super perfect team player, but I think being a team player is for sure a huge bonus point with regards to joining ARIS. And I'd say that this year we have a great team, or great teams actually, multiple projects. We have great members who really dedicate a lot of time to our projects, and if they do so, best thing is to have teammates at your side who support you throughout the project.
Absolutely, yeah. I think I'm just as excited to see what they are going to do in the end. I'm working with them together myself, so shout out to the team if you're watching this. I really can't wait to see what you guys do, and I hope you're inspired by today's launch as well, to really put in the work and reap the rewards in about exactly 1 year's time.
Yeah, and I'd say here you can also not just see this teamwork within a team, but also like this between teams, inter-team work kind of, where people support each other. The European Rocketry Challenge really, let's say, kind of focuses on it. I mean, we have so many great judges, so many great people supporting staff here who make this event possible, and they try to support us in any way possible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so thankful for them, really. Every single person that works for this. It's more exciting to come back every year because they really listen to your feedback, and I see it every year you come back. It's 10 times better than the year before. They really implement the feedback, and that's the most valuable thing that you can have at a competition like this.
And it's very impressive. I mean, EuRoc exists since 2020, since the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, it's 3 years old.
Yeah, 3 years old. So, and already 25 teams have joined. In a quick chat with Jacob, one of the let's say organizers of this event, we heard that already like over 40 teams have applied to EuRoc, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing this grow, more teams. I mean, Graz, for example, was founded 2 years ago. Skyward, a very successful team from Milano, was founded 2 years ago. So you can see in Europe this takes off pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how much it inspires other people to join as well. I mean, really, the more people you have here, the more competition you have, and that's what makes this fun.
Yeah, but like in my personal opinion, I think this is not really a competition. You can see here, like, people are not here just to compete against each other, but they try to support each other and just have everyone perform nominally, perform as well as they can, and then, in the end, it's up to the judges who can grade which team deserves it most.
Absolutely. I mean, it's always nice to have a trophy, but I think you really notice the exchange between teams. There's so much help, and everyone's really friendly, and they try to make things work. I know a few years back when Team Euler was here, they had problems with their flight computer, and other teams were instantly there to help them, give them a new flight computer, help them solder things together, just to make sure that it can fly. I think at the end of the day, we're just as excited about any other team flying as we are about our own, because that's what this is about.
It's true, and also like out of this problem, actually new ideas have been created. I mean, a system which flies already since like 2 or 3 years in ARIS is CATS.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's flying today as well.
It's flying today. Even I think 2 or 3 modules of CATS are flying today on PERIPHAS, made by previous Euler members who exactly address this issue of non-functioning flight computers. And in talks with judges, I've also heard that they consider doing it the next year, making it, let's say, redundant system for all teams.
That would be very exciting. So for everyone who doesn't know, the CATS flight computer system is a flight computer that we've developed in-house, or a group of ARIS members have started developing and spun it off into a product of their own. And it's a flight computer that's relatively simple to use, and has worked extremely reliably. They've tested it out, I don't know how many hundreds of times but essentially you can plug it into any EEE rocket or any supersonic rocket. I've flown a few EEE rockets with their system as well, and it works extremely reliably. You have automatic liftoff detection. That you have tons of redundant features. You have 3 different accelerometers in there. You have accelerometers that work up to, I think, 100 G or something like that. Ridiculous. Like, it's really a cool system, and it's in my personal opinion, so much more reliable than all of the other COD systems that there are around there. And it sounds biased, but I've really compared them hand to hand, and I think it would be a shame if we wouldn't, be allowed to share this improvement with all sorts of other teams as well. I think everyone could benefit for it.
Yeah, and when we also see it here at EuRoc, they promote this. They even have their own booth. They also try to somehow get all teams flying the system already today and tomorrow, with the goal of data logging and improving the system. And let's see if CATS can maybe grow into something bigger, maybe in a company or something.
That would be,
which we
also
also
awesome.
promote in ARIS. Just as a general information, we started this year with ARIS's Project Lab, as a kind of a point, or let's say place, we try to seed some ideas, make them into reality, and foster them and let them grow.
That's amazing. I think that's great that we do that. I love supporting projects like these, and I love every new thing that comes out of it. So I think it's nice that we really give students the opportunity to develop their own things that are meant for space application, and also have like a knowledge foundation that they can work with. I think that's really a large value that we bring with the association.
Yeah, so I think we currently cannot see the team, but it seems that they are now at the launch site, preparing everything, putting the rocket on the rail. But I think we will have to wait to get a confirmation from the radio. But we are really excited to see what will happen. Okay.
Indeed. That's the yellow flag you see right there. And it seems like things are going on their way. So if we have a few more minutes, I think I'd like to give the word to the structures team, because they also made a few statements on how their system works, and in the next few clips, I think they can show you how their system works.
Hi, I'm Dominic. I'm the project manager of PERIPHAS.
Hi, my name is Danny, and I'm responsible for the structures part of our PERIPHAS rocket. For example, we have 8 different sections, as you can see here. And for quick assembly, we have designed a new coupling mechanism, which functions like a Bionic coupler. You see these 2 rows of teeth. They interlock with the opposite side on the other part. And for easy interlocking, you just twist it on and secure them with 3 radial screws so they don't come off during launch or the guided descent.
Hi guys, my name is Fabian, and I was one of the responsibles for the PERIPHAS structures. And right now we're going to talk about the actuator section. This is the actuator section, and it sits right below the parachutes itself. On the actuators we have 4 electric motors. 2 of them are servo motors, and they deploy the main parachute. This is a second stage deployment mechanism that is not using any explosives, and so it's completely reusable and also, as always, redundant. And the biggies are these 2 electric motors. They're used to steer our parachute. So as you all know, we have a steerable ram air parachute that is necessary for guided recovery, and thus these 2 motors are needed to steer that thing. Now, as soon as the parachute opens, there is a shock force on the lines, right? Also the steering lines used, and the steering lines are here spooled up onto the motors. And we would not want this shock force to get transferred to the motors themselves. So we have these small hooks. They're small aluminum parts, and they're used to absorb the shocks and also stabilize the system. Because when the parachute opens, in this configuration, we're in a braked state. So we move forwards fairly slowly, and we can easily stabilize. After a few seconds, these spools are rolled up, which tears off the red little lines. The red lines are designed to brake at a certain force and release the line. And as soon as the line is released, these spools can then be turned up and down and thus steer the parachute and make us move around. And this is the separation mechanism. As you can see, it's big and chunky, but it was fairly simple to design, and most importantly, it works reliably. It's been tested in multiple drop tests and also in a maiden launch, and we have not yet had a failed separation during a mission. The way it works is pretty simple. We have these two cartridges. By the way, the entire system is redundant, so there's two cartridges and everything else is also doubly there. The cartridges store CO2 in a liquid gaseous form, about 35 grams of it. They hold it up to 120 bars in theory, but we have them only used until 80 bars. The same is for the small hand valves that you see here. The hand valves are necessary to refill the cartridges because the entire system is fully reusable. So when we separate during a test, for example, we can screw the connection off right here and thus refill the entire cartridge and use it again. Moving on, we have a solenoid, and this is a special kind of solenoid which uses the differential pressure between the 80 bars of the CO2 and the 1 atmospheric pressure, the 1 bar of environmental air, to open a very large diameter hole through which a lot of CO2 can escape very quickly. And the CO2 can then escape through here, down into a parachute section, where it expands, increases the pressure, and thus pushes out the nose cone.
This was a really great video of our structures team. In terms of structures, we can already tell you now, they just confirmed that they erected the launch rail. And now doing some final checks. The structures team has put in quite some work this year in terms of innovation here in ARIS. I've heard that like this new coupling system, the Bionic couplers, have been quite successful. Max, can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, so the Bionic couplers are actually something really cool. This is something that was developed within ARIS itself. These are a brand new development by the structures team. What's really difficult with couplers in general is it takes relatively long to assemble them. There are different kinds of ways of doing it, like radial bolts where you have to screw in one bolt from every single direction, or what we've used conventionally for the past few years are like field joints, which essentially clamp the rocket together. So you have two pieces that press the top and the bottom part together. And the innovation with these is really that you can basically just stick them together and click them, kind of like a jar of jam almost. It really, when you slide them together, it feels exactly like you're kind of pressing them together. And they rely a lot on friction. And then you have a few screws that you add, just single screws to make sure that it doesn't twist back. And that's all it is. It takes, they showed me a few times, it takes like under a minute to assemble each field joint. And especially in a rocket like PERIPHAS, where they really have a lot of different sections, it really pays off. I mean, their assembly was so quick today. I've been at rocket launches where they've taken 3-4 hours to assemble all of the fairings, and they really did this within in the last hour. It's quite impressive.
Yeah, and today the launch preparations went very smooth. I think we all started here at 7 a.m. We drove from our, let's say, campsite at 6 a.m. and arrived here quite early. We're one of the first teams to arrive. We unpacked everything and assembled things very quickly. And I'd say that, the last hour before actually going to the launch rail were very smooth, very calm. We even had enough time to eat enough food.
Yeah, I've never had that before at a launch. That's crazy.
So kind of also scary that it was so smooth. As in past ARIS rocket launches have never been that smooth. But of course, in the end, the result matters. And let's see what will happen today.
It shows how much you can build off previous teams. I think everything that we've done wrong in the past and in Witness we've noted, we've documented, somehow we've passed on, and we've been able to improve on that year after year.
Yeah, and if we come back next year, hopefully when it goes even smoother and we can like come here early in the morning and take our time to actually launch. Of course, we are launching today a solid motor, COTS off the shelf, motor. So yeah, will be for sure a bit more complicated with a hybrid engine.
Definitely, yeah.
But I'd say we will improve steadily.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been a bit foolish to strap a hybrid rocket engine to the bottom of this. I mean, this is a very novel system. It's been tested in flight, but it hasn't gone through the full flight before, and it's really quite advanced. So I think all of the preparation that needs to go into this and the checks, doing those in parallel with a assembly and filling of a hybrid rocket engine would be completely overwhelming. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like in the past years in ARIS, we also steadily improved our electronics. I think we came quite far, especially also this year, what PERIPHAS achieved, what Helvetia in certain ways also achieved, and now with new projects coming up in ARIS, we try to kind of create, let's say, more centralized systems, electronics, where we can build up on. And one also really important aspect is also software. I'd say in ARIS things were not that well documented in the past, but has been growing over years, and we try to pass on knowledge as much as we can.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of software improvements. I think specifically in this team, I mean, obviously in a guided recovery system, software is the key of it, and it's really difficult to get everything right there, and it takes a lot of hours of debugging and everything. But I'm not a software guy, so I think we'll let the software guys tell everyone about what they've been up to.
Hello, my name is Frederick. Janko and I developed the software for the guided recovery system of PERIPHAS. The core of the software builds the state machine, as you can see here. We have different states, and in each state different things can happen. Like we have the startup state. Once we turn the system on, it automatically enters the startup state. We then calibrate sensors, and after the sensors are calibrated, we are in the live rocket state, which means our system is ready to be armed. Shortly before liftoff, we arm our system, the recovery system. At liftoff, we automatically switch to the liftoff state. And at apogee, we have our separation state, which then separates the nose cone from the rest of the rocket.
This separation leads to the deployment of the drogue parachute, which is the smaller parachute of the two. This just slows the rocket down, but it's not steerable yet. After a few seconds, the main deployment, or at a certain point, at a certain altitude, main deployment gets triggered. At this point, the big parachute opens, and we first brake for a few seconds, so the main parachute has time to really open up. Once that's happened, we enter the control loop state. At this point, the control loop algorithm takes over and starts to guide the rocket towards a specific landing point. However, if the algorithm has a problem or something, we can still enter the safety spiral state, which just gives predefined parameters and guides the rocket down in a spiral. Once we are on the ground, we automatically or manually enter the ground recovery state, at which point we can recover the rocket safely.
There we go.
Yeah, that was super interesting. I'm not an expert in that. I think you are neither, but
I'd love to be.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun to do that in the future. I'd love to join a team like that.
yeah, and I think it has huge potential here in ARIS, and we could for sure need also like new input and new people here in ARIS with software experience.
I think, I mean, the more advanced our rockets get, the more software you really need to run the whole thing, and the more not just software guys but also electronics guys you need to run the entire show. And we've had some really talented people here, but I mean we need so many more to get more advanced in it. But I mean, what we just saw, I think the finite state machine system, it's been implemented before, and they really they've been able to advance it to a level that's quite useful and really advantageous for the system. But what we didn't talk about is the whole guidance system. That's the other part of software. There's a lot of software in this rocket. It's really quite a computer. I mean, we'll be able to talk to the electronics guys next, The whole electronics rack is this massive brain. But yeah, before we get too hectic, because the launch window is coming up, I'd really love to hand over to the guidance, navigation, and control team, because they developed the heart of this rocket. And so yeah, here's them.
Hi, we're the GNC team. GNC stands for Guidance, Navigation and Control. To my left you see Nico, to my right Julian, and my name's Anna. So we are part of the software development of our sounding rocket PERIPHAS. More specifically, the Guidance, Navigation and Control. So as you might have heard in previous clips, we're flying a guided recovery system. So we have the aim to steer our skydiver's parachute to the ground. Now, steering is done by pulling the two different steering lines in either direction. However, how does a rocket actually know in which direction to pull? This is where our software comes in handy. We not only develop the guidance, which is part of the trajectory planning, but also the controls, which then follow the trajectory, and some filtering methods that are used in the navigation block. We have come up with several steps during our development. We first started off with a hard-coded sequence of inputs that we then flew in our helicopter drop test. With that, we were able to gather a lot of data for our system and then further refine our model with that data. Once we were rather happy with the model, we were able to develop some controls for the course angle, which is the angle where our system flies towards. Once we tested the controls, we then further developed our guidance block. Up to this point, we have the so-called double wall guidance, which Nico will go into detail later on. That also has been tested in our drop test campaign. So we will fly something during our launch that has been proven in our testing setup, so we hope it will also work in a real test flight.
As Anna mentioned, we are using a double wall guidance. This means that we fly in between two walls, as you can see on the video here. When one wall is reached, the reference changes from one orientation to the other.
To close the system, we use a simple P controller. We have tested this P controller in one of our drop tests. Everything worked out successfully. The control variable for the controller is the course angle. The course angle is based on the measurements provided by our high-quality GPS chip. It is based on the velocities. Therefore, the only measurements we actually use online are provided by the GPS. We then filter these measurements with our low-pass filter. With that, you have a rough overview of our guidance, navigation, and control loop for the EuRoc 2022. We are looking forward to our launch.
Okay, then yeah, I mean we got now information from what was it, mission officer or the mission control, exactly, that in 15 minutes the launches will happen. The launch window opens. Yeah. In 15 minutes, yeah, all the teams seem to be ready.
These are the first launches of the day. They said we have two launches coming up. One is ARIS on launch rail 5.
5 it was, yes.
And on launch rail 1 we had, what was the other one?
It was Polly.
Polly, exactly. So two launches coming up. Yeah, you can see the air is very tense. Our mission control guys are right over here. They're a bit nervous, but I'm sure it's all gonna go out at least. Let's take a look at we have our camera officer right next to us, making sure that we see everything. Let's switch back over to the downrange camera. We just heard the launch window opens in about 10 minutes. And we just found out our camera was off. So that's why it's on. There we go.
You can see our mission control. The guys are waiting. They just got the signal that in 10 minutes, yeah, the launch window opens.
They were
yeah.
very curious that cameras are watching them. the orange thing that you see right there is the entire mission control system. It's actually quite compact, and they get live telemetry from there, so they track the entire system. They see what state the rocket is in. They can follow all of the guidance points in there, and then also they'll get obviously GPS location, so it'll be very easy to locate it once it's landed. So it's following an S pattern today. So the conventional pattern that's been tested quite often is the T approach, and kind of the double wall approach that we're flying today. It kind of flies S's back and forth in between two walls, and the two walls are located essentially, if you're looking down the range, left and right, or left and right of the camera right now, and it'll essentially just fly away from us. So what we're going to expect is we'll see a rocket going up, and then a parachute coming out, and then it bouncing back and forth on the screen essentially, and slowly flying away from us.
Yeah, and I think when you look down the path, this could be PERIPHAS actually returning.
It looks like the team walking back, yes. They look quite serious, but nothing looks wrong. And the fact that they're coming back so quickly indicates I think the entire erection procedure went quite well. I'm being told that our audio cables may not be plugged in correctly. We're trying to fix the problem right now.
Oh, my gosh, isn't it?
No, that's a different audio cable. That might have been fixed now. We'd of course love some feedback if everything's working. Seems they just performed an igniter test and they need a new igniter, I think. Excellent. Yes, in that case our microphone wasn't plugged in correctly. I'm very sorry about that.
Verstandene Hände, der Frodo macht sich jetzt auf den Weg, ist wahrscheinlich in 3 Minuten bei euch.
Sicher nicht den Frodo schicken, der gehört in Mission Control, jeden andere.
Bro, er ist gekommen, hat sich da und ist losgegangen.
And as you can see, that's Frodo running down right now. He's bringing the igniter.
Luckily we still have some time left to prepare for the launch.
Oh, there it goes.
Talking about wrong decisions.
So now the only people that should be down there are the arming and the launch officer, if I recall correctly. It's basically it's time for a final igniter test. They're going to insert the igniter into the solid rocket motor, then perform a continuity check, so to make sure that the loop inside the electric match is closed, so that once you apply a very high voltage, or actually high current to it, I'm sorry, it'll glow, create a large spark inside of the combustion chamber, and ignite the solid grain. And that should be happening right around now. We'll bring the last igniter down there for one of these tests. And over to the left, we see the entire team returning, or almost the entire team. We have the systems engineer and the electronics guy, and two of the electronics guys actually returning.
Seems now that soon, yellow flag status will be changed into red flag status.
I will be your range safety officer.
Range safety is now giving an announcement.
First, welcome to EuRoc 2022 and finally to the second launch day. We will be starting our launches in our second launch window of the day.
Now we are in
Some
red flag
safety
status. Max, what does red flag status mean?
that we have. So first,
I'll talk about it as soon as we finish hearing the announcement.
System of flags, safety flags, and you can see them in front of the tribune. You can see that right now we are on red flag. So basically when you see no flag, it means that you can walk around. When we have the yellow flag, it means that we are already doing some dangerous activities. So only teams and essential personnel can be at the tents. And now we have red flag, which means that we'll start soon the launches, and we have a window starting in 4 minutes. So this means, of course, you have to pay your full attention to what's happening, because once we are almost launching, you'll hear a sound signal like this one.
Nice stream, team. See you after the launch.
So once you hear this sound, it means you have to go immediately to the spectator area, so in front of the tribune, okay? And so you have to be quick, you have to pay your attention when we have red flag and be prepared to go to the front area, okay? We can have no people inside the tent at this point, and at the food court also not be allowed, or under the tribune. I know it's a bit hot today, but still you have to be in front of it. So during the launch times, we are going to hear the countdown right before the launch, and we have requests for everyone. So we know that, of course, once we see liftoff, we want to cheer. But after the liftoff, we need to first make sure that we have a nominal trajectory and we are not in danger. So I will ask you to hold the cheers until we actually have a nominal trajectory. Then we'll let you know, and then you can celebrate as you wish, okay? If at any point we have some danger, first you hear attention, 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 heads up. This means you should, of course, look at the sky and try to see if there is any danger. If indeed we have confirmed danger, we will basically say Mayday, 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 take shelter now. And this means you have to go under the tribune as soon as possible. Okay, so this is our safety instructions. And I hope you enjoy our launches. Once we have more information, we'll let you know.
Yeah, I think she explained pretty well what red flag is. So everyone's getting ready. Essentially for us, this means it's about to go down. The only people that should be down there really right now is the pyrotechnics officer, and that's it. So we're making sure everything's installed correctly and preparing for launch. I can hear the crowd behind me is getting quite excited. I think everyone's really happy to see the first launches of the day, and so am I, gotta be honest.
Mm-hmm. Only 2 more minutes and then officially...
The launch window opens in 2 minutes, yes. So we're still awaiting permission to arm. Obviously this can only be done once the range is completely clear of people. And this will be done remotely from the mission control that you see right here. And essentially we'll get permission from range safety to perform arming. And then it should only be a few more minutes before we can perform the countdown.
So okay, in the background you hear a dry run of people going under the tribune.
We'll be starting our launches in a few minutes, so please, everyone, you already heard the sound signal. All the tents have to be empty, so for the team members that I can see going to the tents, you have to then to go to the front area, so please.
Ik skal huske det. Husk, det skal opp til hele.
Okay. So we're in the final seconds of launch preparation. I think down the road you can also see the rest of the team returning back with their orange vests. I think that is our launch officer.
Correct, that should be the launch officer and the project manager. So they're the only two people that have little red wristbands giving them permission for pyrotechnic permission, and essentially the only ones who are still allowed to be there. You still see a few other people in the container over there. That's another team that's also returning. There is actually one person from the organization that's down there. That's the I think it's not launch officer, but it's a type of pyrotechnics officer that's responsible to make sure that nothing bad happens down there during launch.
Mm-hmm. And as mentioned, at first we will see most likely a launch from another team. As I heard, was the Polytechnic in Warsaw, and we ARIS or PERIPHAS will be launching as second.
Overhearing mission control discussing repeating their procedures for the last time, making sure that everyone's briefed on exactly what their actions are to do. Essentially everything in the rocket is completely automated, but obviously systems can fail, and they do have a limited amount of manual control, which doesn't mean steering in this case, because that would not be allowed by the organizer. But that doesn't mean that they can manually eject the system in an absolute emergency case. So everyone's making sure that they know what the chain of command is, and who's supposed to press which button in which kind of a situation.
Mm-hmm. And I think we didn't speak enough about it, but in case of like an unstable flight with the guidance system, I've heard they have a kind of a safety mechanism or safety spiral.
The safety spiral, yes. Shout out to Chris for the safety spiral. Sorry, we stand by, please. Okay, we've also received a quick safety briefing from the flight director, since we are out in front, right next to mission control, so we're not allowed to speak too loud either.
Wir haben jetzt den T24 genommen, anstatt der provided ist, weil der ist sehr bröckelig. Der ist inserted. Der Dude von EuRoc wird gerade alles anschliessen. Eggtimer und Cats sind immer noch beeping nominally.
Top, wir sind jetzt auf dem Rückweg, oder? Over?
Die 2-3 Minuten.
So, you heard it. It's about 2 or 3 minutes until.
Everyone underneath the tribune, you already heard the sound signal, so you have to be in front of it. Okay? Thank you.
So 2 and 3.
This is launch readiness. So the first flight will be by Team ARIS from Switzerland. They are flying in the solid 3-kilometer category. They have COTS propulsion. It's a Cesaroni Pro 98 N-class rocket motor. The rocket is using air brakes to target the apogee precisely. And after deployment, there's a parafoil which aims to demonstrate autonomous guided descent of the entire rocket. They are flying on rail number 5. That is number 2 from the right if you look downrange.
So it's behind the bush.
So yeah, that means it's right behind the bush. I guess we won't see the first 2 milliseconds of flight. Okay.
Give us a moment on setting up the right camera angles. right now we just got the news that we will launch first, so super interesting to see that that other teams might have shifted their launch window, but I think as soon as we're ready we can launch. So
shortly after the flight of ARIS, we have ASTG from Austria. They are flying in the solid 3-kilometer category as well, but unlike ARIS, they're using a solid student research rocket, SRAD. So they're flying with rocket candy. They also have an N-class rocket, and it's ASTG's second ever rocket to launch. They're transporting 4 kilos of CubeSats to about 3,000 meters. They also have 7 cameras and 15 sensors recording the flight data. So first ARIS, then ASTG. ASTG is on the far right launch pad, that's number 6.
yeah. So right now, in the background, you can hear our mission control preparing for arming. We will try to get video streaming going again.
Then ASTG, and the third flight will be by the PreLaunch rocket from Poland. It attempted to launch yesterday, but we didn't have enough time to fill the fuel. We're making a new attempt today.
We'll try to get
PreLaunch rocket is in the hybrid 3-kilometer SRAD class. They are flying on rail number 1, which is the student rail on the far left side.
Launch officer is go.
This is the flight director, and we are go for PERIPHAS launch.
We are go for PERIPHAS launch.
Okay, we'll do it like this.
So what we try to do is fix it now with a webcam. Sorry for if the current quality, it's not optimal, but we will try our best to get you the best view of the launch. Sorry about that.
Current wind speeds are about 1 to 2 meters per second, direction west-southwest.
Okay, we got it.
Okay. Okay, so now we'll try to get live view.
You in the road coming to the launch site, you need to run because we are almost launching. So yes, I can see you already running. Please run to the launch site.
Yeah.
Run faster.
Okay, so now the rest of Team PERIPHAS is returning. Or I think that other students are returning as well. Yeah, so now you can see the hill behind it.
It's further back.
It's
Yeah.
So now we are live again, sorry. Yes, we are now looking towards the rail. Of course, it's a bit hidden behind this hill, but afterwards we should get visual contact with the rocket as soon as it lifts off. Okay, it seems that now the rest of the team has arrived back. They seem very excited and happy, so this is a really good sign that PERIPHAS is go for launch. Yes, so now we are trying to get a view on rocket.
It's done.
Now we,
Max, ja, weer on. Ja, aber, ja, aber.
yeah, so
Have we armed?
we have armed. So I think in the ConOps we are one step ahead. Now we are just awaiting the signal from the organizers here from EuRoc. They will start a countdown. Then we will see PERIPHAS lift off. Okay, so you can see the timer now. Yeah, we will see this thing fly very soon.
Yeah, this means the system is armed. We're actually ready for flight. I think they're performing the final go no go checks. They're ready to fly. Really, the only thing we need is confirmation to start the countdown.
Oh, ich stoße. Ah, fuck, ich stoße.
Ja, jetzt ist wieder drin. Oh, weißt du was, das piepst dir die ganze Zeit, oder? Ist das Ding?
Ich glaube, die Kamera ist entweder zu heiß.
Drück mal auf ihn. Nochmal. Nochmal. Nein, ist echt okay. Was sind wir da?
Ist immer noch gut.
Ich glaube okay, ja.
Sieht man so an?
Nein, du musst ein bisschen runter. So, ja, ist gut, schon. Noch ein bisschen runter. Kannst du noch mal ein paar Mal auf Info drücken? Ich sage, oh, jetzt ist es draussen. Overheat Control ist an.
Overheat?
Ja, irgend so etwas. Das ist wahrscheinlich wirklich wegen der Hitze. Ja, nochmal. Nochmal. Kannst du. Ja. Nochmal. Jetzt ist gut.
Ist der Engel auch?
Ja, der Engel ist sehr gut. Vielleicht ein bisschen mehr rechts. Nein, perfekt. So we can see you're all also very excited for this. We're really happy to see the chat be so excited too. And we have people running back. Okay. J'ai dos ça. Ja. Ja. Oh, dein Fokus ist auf der Erde da vorne. Kannst du ihn rauf tun und nochmal Autofokus drücken? Ja, ich glaube besser, ja. Was?
Also ist gut oder nicht?
Ja, ist gut.
We can already see our teams running to the spectators area, so if anyone is still under the tribune, you need to come out now.
We can hear you all cheering for us, guys. We can, even from here, from Portugal.
You guys are really loud. Man, the air is static here, you can feel it.
So I think the team from Graz is returning back. And another team is also returning. Feels like today there are like 200 people here.
Yeah, behind us. I wish you could see this. We could turn on the webcam, but everything behind us is white, so it doesn't make sense. Come on. Is wieder du.
Teams, go.
Teams are go.
You heard it here first, folks. We're ready to go.
Tracking, go. LC, go. Pyro, go. Theo, go. Range safety, go. We all go for a countdown on ARIS, rail 5, going in T-5, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. Ignition.
And we're up.
Show you up.
Burn off, straight boost.
And
Straight flight.
Out of sight.
Out of sight.
So we should just about be reading apogee
Arching
right about
over.
now. Night.
Rechts, rechts, rechts.
Oh, and it is open. Nice.
It's open.
And it is gliding. Look at that.
We have a main out. That's the parafoil main that is out.
The parafoil main is out.
Yeah. This it looks like an early deployment of the main parachute, but I'm not completely sure.
Now the guidance should bring PERIPHAS down to a safe spot.
Altitude
Nice
2,700 meters.
700 meters over ground.
Wait, kom da hinderen. Dus je ziet het zo.
Currently now the control loop is
there it is.
doing its works. We get the confirmation from mission control.
So you see that tiny white speck on the screen, that's it.
Woo!
Very nice.
That's amazing.
And the turn, look at that. That is beautiful. Oh my God. And it's going back the other direction. That is so cool. The crowd behind us is super excited, you can tell.
Can you still see it?
That's there. That's really impressive. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. I mean, from down here, it looks like there's a human up there controlling that thing. I can't believe this is autonomous.
Yeah, you can really see how it goes from one wall to another with this S approach.
That's so cool.
We are
Altitude 2,100 meters.
100 meters.
Nee, toch. So I think our tracking is a bit wrong. We expected touchdown to happen a bit earlier. But since it's a guided system, there's nothing to worry about. I mean, it's gonna end up landing relatively close to us. Even though it seems the main, I'm not sure this is confirmed, but it seems the main opened a bit earlier than expected, and still we're basically directly overhead. Like it's amazing.
Oh, nice.
1,800 meters.
That is sick.
So just to remember, in Switzerland we tested this in Wichlen in the Alps. We were only allowed to launch up to 1,000 meters above ground, and here we're allowed to do it up to 3,000 or even 9,000.
Oh, 9,000, yeah.
We have enough thrust, but really nice to see how this control system works.
Our systems engineer is very proud about it.
So the rocket is coming down very slowly under the parafoil. You can notice it's making several S-shaped turns going down range from us. So the parafoil and the descent is working flawlessly. Just a bit of the apogee. We're expecting it down in about 5 minutes.
You heard that? The system's working perfectly.
I think we have main at apogee. We don't know why, because it wasn't from the guided recovery, so not from the downlink that we have here. It was probably either a structural failure or the other flight computer, to which we don't have a direct link. But this we can only figure out when the ship is down. But what is very nice to see that the guided recovery is working out so well. it's doing exactly what we wanted. It's just gonna take 5 more minutes instead of like 1 minute because it's so high up. But it's going now down range in an S shape, and so you can see it from either side, and you can see it turning from black, then the orange part, which is on the left side, and then again to the black side, which is on the right. So we monitor the rocket, but it seems fine.
Well, you heard it. It seems to be working perfectly. The whole deployment didn't happen as expected, but yeah, the fact that it's a guided recovery system really shows how powerful these things are. Even if even if the whole structural deployment goes wrong, or even if the deployment system goes wrong, even if there's a structural failure, it'll still work correctly.
Altitude 950 meter, 3 minutes to touchdown.
3 more minutes, all right. So I'm getting visual confirmation that the nose cone is attached, which means there's probably no structural failure.
It seems that maybe, yeah, as mentioned, that the CAT system might have deployed too early.
Nicht ganz zurück. Nein, jetzt rauf, rechts. Nein, schon mal draussen. Nochmal. Tick. Mal fokussieren. Jetzt weiter rauf. Musst mir da ist es, ja, da ist es. Aber musst
Nein, wir sind noch nicht am Boden.
Nein, es ist da unten gewesen, ich habe es literally gesehen.
Es ist noch in der Luft. Es fliegt noch.
Ich weiß.
Okay, now you can really see, maybe not on the video, but if you go closer down to the ground, yeah, you should be able to see.
Oh, it's really far.
It's far away.
It's right behind the flag.
It's behind the flag right now.
Yeah, there it is. It's coming down.
Yes, so far
It
ahead.
looks like one final turn is coming up.
Roughly 300 meters from here, you can see down.
70
50
meters.
above ground, 60, 50, 40, 30.
25. And it's touchdown.
It's touchdown.
Wow.
Congratulations to Team PERIPHAS.
That was crazy.
The first guided recovery. A successful European
Beautiful
Rocket League Challenge.
Very nice work, guys. Beautiful.
And ground recovery confirmed by mission control.
Wow, the team is so excited. I've never seen anything like this.
I mean, this was really a crazy stress test for the guided recovery system. Apparently, we were like over 7 minutes in this closed loop flight. So.
That's new. That's a first. I mean, yeah, I think now it's time for everyone to celebrate. That was really cool. I hope everyone enjoyed this at home.
Attention.
This was so much fun for us.
The ignition, the igniter
Oh, the next one is ready to go.
ASTG. and PolyW rocket has been scrapped.
Oh,
So,
man.
Apparently another launch has been scrapped by the same team from Warsaw. Yeah, we hope they can launch another time here. Of course,
Yeah.
we still have some launch days left. This is not great, but let's see. I think now the next steps are we wait for the other launches to happen.
Exactly.
Graz is up next, and then our ground recovery team will drive there,
They'll recover the rocket.
And bring it safely home.
Yeah, I mean it's so close. They don't even have much to do.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
We could actually walk there.
Yeah, they probably will. So I think that was it.
Yeah.
That was great. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I certainly did. I think everyone here did as well. I think this is really, it's been a milestone for the association, for I think amateur rocketry in general. I don't even know if you can call it amateur at this point. So yeah, we're really excited to see how the system develops, and we look forward to demonstrating it for you at the next live stream.
Yeah, thank you very much. Sorry for the technical difficulties. There was a lot of work put into it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as you know, when it matters most, things can fail.
It's the second things start mattering. It's yeah. But we hope you saw some of it.
Yes. So yeah, we will probably also have some great footage in general from the launch, from the recovery. Yeah, this European Rocketry Challenge is still going on. You will most likely enjoy some other launches here.
For sure.
And yeah, you could potentially win something here.
Who knows? That was pretty cool. I don't know about you, but I think that deserves technical excellence.
Yeah, I think in the end it's up to the decision of the competition, jurors, but we did our best. We know we did our best.
For sure.
And thank you very much for joining.
And see you next time.